think the trends right now are that there's an increase in infringement across the board. It's easier for people to do everything with computers. It's easier to print out labels. It's easier to find sources to get products internationally. People are accustomed to counterfeits in luxury goods, but now it's increased to practically all goods, to toys, to soap, to toothpaste, to everything. Some companies have put in computer chips into coats and things like that, so that you can see there's special wording you can put on tags. There's identification numbers that can be hidden somewhere in different products. There's lot numbers. There's all type of things like that. The penalties that can be assessed against counterfeiters have now increased. Under the Pro-IP Act, which was recently passed, the maximum statutory damage for counterfeit goods is going up to $2 million. You can also get, obviously, actual damages, which would be calculated basically, their profits or their ill-begotten profits or your lost sales, those kind of things. There are different systems of trademark protection in different countries. So one fundamental is that in the U.S., it's a use-based system. Use is the most important. Using a trademark is necessary to gaining protection. You can file an application to register it, but you ultimately have to prove that you're using it. There are some countries where it's first to file the trademark application, so you gain rights, and there's countries that are a registration only basis. So it's important to protect your major brands across, in many different countries, the countries you realistically think that you may someday want to go. It's also important to check internet sites and see for activity, register certain domain names to block other people from using them, because if you have a well-known brand, if people start to register those domain names, then they feel like they have some entitlement. In general, I found that most countries do respect brands, and especially famous brands, if someone takes aggressive action against an infringer. Well, another way to protect one's intellectual property is to aggressively register copyrights. So it's important even to copyright things like, to register copyrights with things like product labels, prints and fashion, any of the things that are copyrightable. Trademark law and free speech always intersect at some point, because there are uses that one is allowed to make of a trademark. I think one thing that happens here is sometimes the best way to protect a brand when there's parody situations is to leave the parody alone, let it have its 5 minutes of fame and fade out. A lot of big corporations and brand owners have a visceral reaction at times and say, we have to stop this, and we have to send some kind of cease and desist letter right away, and then the cease and desist letter gets posted on a website, or it gets on a blog and people discuss it, and really it doesn't help anything, and frequently those types of satire don't harm a brand, and no one believes it's the brand that would be making fun of itself, so it's all taken in good fun. So in many cases the best action is to take no action. When someone takes someone else's trademark and bids on it for a keyword, pull up to the site, it's not the brand owner once you've pulled it up, but then you're at the site and you look and say, well, these are some interesting products, or this is an interesting website. So what companies such as Google are doing right now is saying, we're letting people bid on these keywords, and you want to sue us, you go sue us and try to figure out what you can do. So, and whether you have the resources, whether you can really prove there's consumer confusion or consumer harm or harm to your brand or any of the other theories, dilution to your brand. one of the unique challenges in trademarks is that even if something might not be hurting economically, the trademark law is all designed so that there's one brand owner that holds the equity and all the equity flows from there. So if you allow third parties to use your brand, you're at risk of it becoming either generic or descriptive, for the term at issue, but mostly becoming generic or diluted. So if third parties are using it, it loses its inherent ability to indicate a single source of goods or services, and therefore brands can be weakened or destroyed.